Children of the night, what music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you with it.
It's 8 o'clock. Do you know where your bastard children are? 3 of them are right here. It's the final guys. It's Tuesday night, babies.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
All right. As always, it's me, Hunter. They're Jason. They're Jack. 3 bastard children.
Hi there.
The bastard sons of 100 maniacs.
That's what I was waiting for. I was setting it up for you.
God.
So tonight we are going to discuss a movie called The Color of Outer Space. Because when you spell it with the O-U, I can't think of it as color. It's Color.
They don't spell it with the U.
Kahlua. I like Kahlua. They should have the Kahlua.
The movie doesn't spell it with the U.
Of outer space.
The movie doesn't spell it with the U, though.
But in my head, that's the way it has to be.
Okay.
You can Americanize it.
Ye old color.
Ye old color. This is Nick Cage's new career that he has. You know, he went with Mom and Dad, and then Mandy, and now this. So he's definitely on a track. Because
Purple is the new Nick Cage.
You know what? I guess his agent go, "Hey Nick, you were so good when you overacted. You should do more of that." So, thank God.
Do what you did there, but 20% more.
HI, get me a baby. So, as always, before we jump into the fun that we do with everything, we have drinking rules that are sent to us from down under, like at least under us. Who wants to read them today? Look at that, they're on the screen.
I can do it. I just checked.
Wow.
We are actually live on Facebook, so it didn't screw up.
There's a
It's hard to
first.
believe.
Are we on the Facebook page or the Facebook group?
Well, I combined them now, so it should be both, but it's definitely on the page for sure.
Ooh.
So
We should gain at least one extra viewer.
Okay.
this is amazing. This is the future.
I'm going to go
all right.
check while you're talking.
So
Yeah.
the drinking rules for today, courtesy of Sheridan. Jack, yours are Universal, Alpaca, and Hunter. Hunter, yours are Meteorite, Nick, and Nuts. And mine are Lovecraft, Wood, and Farm. And the bonus words are Trippy, Purple, and Cage.
Does it count that in the chat I called everyone numbnuts? Does chatting count as for the drink?
We're going to go with yes.
Yes. All right. Well, it's good because tonight I have wine, and when this is done, I've got a big can of Narragansett. Trying to say over there, so I'm ready.
It
I
looks to
sadly
me
have
like
nothing.
we're on our Facebook page, but not our Facebook group.
Alrighty.
Just-
I'll see
We're on
if I can
Facebook
find it.
something. Are we on the
On Facebook
Twitters?
something.
Can we get on Twitters next week?
I don't know. I don't know that this will stream to Twitter or not. I have no clue. I'll look into it.
We can only get on Twitter if we're talking about the coronavirus or Super Tuesday.
God Almighty. Let's talk about Joe Biden and coronavirus.
Sounds
So
riveting.
yeah, let's not. Let's take a break from that crap because I've dealt with enough of it today. So Jack, please give us some awesome horror news, not the usual crap you peddle.
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you some awesome news, but I'm going to start with news that's not awesome. Max von Sydow has passed away at the age of 90.
Terrible.
So I thought that we should give him a tip of the cap. Ming the Merciless himself, the Exorcist himself, Brewmeister Smith from Strange Brew, of course. I could crush your head, but I won't because I need you.
He had a name that was just kind of scary too.
Yeah.
Max von Sydow.
Somebody shared something on Twitter. I saw that he was only in his 40s when he was in The Exorcist.
Yes, but it was makeup.
Yeah, that blew my mind. I don't know how I never put that together because he would be like 140.
Exactly.
It just never occurred to me.
If you saw TCM showed like a retrospective of his movies, good. That guy was like stunningly handsome when he was young.
Yeah.
Like make Brad Pitt look like a poser from the Ozarks. It's crazy.
Poser.
Because if
from
you
The
think about it, when you
Exorcist.
look at The Exorcist and then look at him in Game of Thrones, it's really not that different looking.
No, he finally grew into
true.
his makeup.
Yeah.
God rest your soul there, Maxie.
Listen, I think I saw the Flash Gordon movie like 10 times in the theater when I was a kid. I love that movie. Then when I saw Ted and they had the whole Flash Gordon thing, I was like, did they just make this movie for me?
I know. I love Ted. Ted 2, not so much.
Not so much.
Yeah, I never even finished Ted 2.
Don't bother.
Okay.
Wasn't great.
Next piece of news is that James Wan is producing a monster movie for Universal Studios.
Oh.
Here's the synopsis. With shades of Disturbia, the story will focus on a group of teens who discovered that a neighbor is building a monster in his basement. Spoiler, the monster gets loose.
Oh, I'm not going to see this now.
Damn it.
There is a great Tom Waits song that they should use for it. It's called What's He Building Down There? And it's like just the sound of tinkering and stuff, and he just keeps going, what's he building down there? It's so creepy when you like listen to it on headphones.
Well, speaking of Tom Waits, there's other Universal monster movies coming out. Paul Feig is doing Dark Army. Dexter Fletcher is doing Renfield. Matt Stosky is doing something called Monster Mash. And Elizabeth Banks is doing The Invisible Woman. So Universal is now going into monsters, but not specifically just their classic catalog. But
So Renfield is getting his own movie?
He is.
It's
Wow.
like an accountant assistant.
Every character ever is eventually going to get their own movie.
This is like Marvel.
What was Paul Feig's next catastrophe going to be called?
Dark Army.
Oh, okay. I won't be watching that.
Is that like Army of Darkness?
But dyslexic.
He's so ruined Ghostbusters for me. I'm so bitter about it still. It's like I get angry every time I hear his name.
Have you seen the coming attraction for the new one?
Yeah,
I
that's
have.
all right.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, like, wow, this movie looks awesome. Then I see, oh, it's Ghostbusters.
Don't start.
It's got Paul Rudd. It's got Paul
Don't
Rudd.
start.
I know. I might go see it because it has Paul Rudd.
There's the next Max von Sydow. The guy doesn't age.
It's
True.
just not scary.
My attitude about all of these is wait to see the trailer. But The Invisible Man had the complete opposite effect on me of like the trailer for what was that one? It Comes at Night. The trailer was so great and the movie was so different. It pissed me off for that. Then Invisible Man, the trailer looked terrible. And then I thought the movie was great. So, like I said, I'll probably base a lot of my opinion on the trailers. You know, like a Renfield movie right now, I'm rolling my eyes. And then if the trailer hits me, I go, oh, okay. Who am I kidding? I'm going to see that.
Wait, wasn't Tom Waits Renfield in Dracula
Yes.
with Gary Oldman? That's why I was thinking him.
Master!
No makeup needed. Just show up, Tom. Whatever. You know, we're going to see probably half of those.
Yeah. Just
I'll see them, maybe not all in the theater. That's the big thing.
I'm hopefully going to spend less money on them than I'm thinking I will.
It's like that movie, The Turning. That movie, The Turning, that came out in January.
Yeah,
I saw the trailers. Like, Wild Horses could not get me into the theater to see that movie.
Couldn't get me on the couch to see it. I want Dr. Jekyll and Sister Hyde. I want that remake.
I want Dr. Heckle and Mr. Jive from the Men at Work.
I'm hoping for Rumple Foreskin. It's one of my favorites.
Hey, that's one of mine.
It's a classic.
Rumpled Foreskin.
And our next news is Hunter, this one's for you. So for the first part's going to piss you off, but then the second part you're going to like.
All right, I'll brace myself.
First part is that ABC is working on a new pilot of a Dracula-based show. That's the part that's going to piss you off.
Okay.
It's called The Brides.
All right.
The part that you're going to like is that Gina Torres is going to be the lead in it.
All right, I'm in.
Who is Gina Torres?
Gina Torres was in Firefly. She was Wash's wife.
I watched the pilot of Firefly.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Talk about me with Ghostbusters. Jesus Christ.
I didn't say it
Jason
sucks. I just said I didn't watch it.
You are a freaking loser. Shut off this thing. Go watch Firefly and then come back and we'll give you back your man card. Oh my God in heaven.
Jack, remember we took a long lunch to see the Firefly movie when it came out?
Tore my heart out.
That was Brutal.
That's cute of you guys.
Don't
We
even
used to do it all the time.
Go in the corner. Get in the bathroom. Put him in the bathroom.
Get in the bathroom. You goddamn mush.
You mush. I haven't seen Firefly. You are a stay-at-home mom. You have all the time in the world. You should have seen this movie, this series like 20 times.
By the way,
I come from a place of love because you're missing
It
out
sounds
on
like
one
it.
of the great shows.
it's
Tough love, baby. It's tough
It
love.
is.
You have too many people in your life who are afraid to tell you like it is. You got yes men like Hunter Shea here.
By the way, you mentioned a Bronx Tale. My wife was at a club and hung out with the Collagino, the kid.
Oh, he's like a criminal, isn't he?
Yeah, it's fresh out of jail, and she was hanging out with him and my friend all night.
See,
She didn't even know it was him.
wow, he was in The Sopranos too.
Mm-hmm. Whatever his name is.
My dad is from the Bronx. I saw a Bronx Tale when I was living in Boston. I call him up, I go, Dad, I saw a Bronx Tale. Oh my God. He goes, that was the most unrealistic piece of crap movie I've ever seen in my life.
I know, that was not a Bronx I've been to.
Anyway, Jason, you should watch Firefly. It's only 10 episodes and a movie.
I saw the movie, actually.
You did?
That's mine. Were you sitting there going, what the fuck is this about?
Yeah, I put it together.
Oh,
This is a good movie. I actually liked it.
see, you would have loved it if you saw the show.
The guy who's going to play Dracula in this is, I'm going to butcher his name, Goran Visnik.
Oh.
He's the guy from ER. And what's that movie with Nicole Kid? Practical Magic.
Oh my God, going way back.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Only things I can think. Anyway, sorry. It's an ABC TV show about vampires. So
it's got to be compelling. Pushing the limits.
They're going to be in modern times. Torres is set to play the Cleo Phillips, the leader of the titular vampire trio, who was a queen before she was turned into a vampire by Dracula. Now transformed into New York City real estate tycoon, Cleo is challenged professionally by a mysterious newcomer, even as he ties to her sisters are dangerously fraying. I don't know.
Oh boy, there we go.
Did you even finish reading that?
I gave up on it. I was just like, it sounded so stupid that I lost interest mid-sentence.
Yeah, put it on my watch. No, I'm not going to put it on my watch list.
Well, listen, Joss Whedon had a way of casting dreamy women that Hunter and I have crushes on, like every woman that's been in Joss Whedon.
God, and when is Eliza Dushku walking onto the show?
Then you got me.
I bet she looks the same.
If the brides were like Summer Glau and what's her name? The one who Marina Baccarin.
Oh my God. Then we're totally in. That's appointment TV.
You guys are getting some deep cut names here.
Well, if you were like a normal person and saw Firefly, you'd know this stuff.
Or if
Firefly was so popular, that's why it lasted 2 seasons. Everybody
will never figure that one out. It was the Han Solo movie you always wanted.
I thought you were gonna say it was like the Han Solo movie. I was like, not really.
No, it's the one you wanted, not the one you got.
The Han Solo movie should have watched Firefly a couple of more times before they made that movie.
Yeah, figure your shit out. All right, is that all the news?
That's all I got.
Did you see that they're not making the Nightmare on Elm Street TV series on Netflix? The plug got pulled on that.
Nope.
Yeah, I just saw that before. I know.
Yeah.
Well, they tried to push it with Cedric the Entertainer as Freddy, and it just didn't work.
Just think about that.
As Freddy.
Netflix greenlights freaking everything.
Yeah.
So if they canceled it, how bad must that setup have been?
That means Hulu's going to grab it.
Lost in Space is going to have a 3rd season, but they're only going to do 3 seasons. They just announced that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I'm midway through the 1st season. It's outstanding. Surprise.
Yeah, I like both seasons. So
Netflix I think they have only had a handful of shows go beyond 3 seasons. I think they do that to keep the cost down.
They say that everybody has to get renewed after 3 years, and the return rate after like 3 seasons isn't great for them. So that's why you never see anything go past 3 seasons.
There you go.
I can see that. Except let's get more orange as the new black. Anyway, it's fine. If you do, I'll tell you which episodes to watch out of 7 seasons.
Do that for me. Make me a playlist.
Yeah, I will. All right. So that's it. That's it for the news. Now is the time when we start to talk all about our staff picks.
We have such sights to show you.
Show us your sights, Jason. Stand up and take your pants off.
Trying to remember what the hell I watched. So I found this movie from 1997 that I had never heard about. I don't remember it releasing, called Campfire Tales.
Oh, yeah.
Heard of it?
I had no clue about this movie. Amy Smart is in it.
Mhm.
Who the hell? Ron Livingston was in it. James Marsden was in it. There were a lot of people in this. It really surprised me. It's not a bad movie, so it's an anthology.
Yeah.
But it definitely, I can see why it was released direct to video. It doesn't look all that great. It doesn't really push the envelope in scenes where you think it's going to. It almost does a cutaway kind of thing.
Mhm.
So it's not a bad movie. And it was cool seeing all these actors, when they were really young before any of them kind of broke out. But it was fine. If you're a completist like we are, and you've never seen it, it's worth a watch. But coming from somebody who really digs horror anthologies, I wanted more from it.
Yeah, you're the anthology person here.
Yeah, I dig
I
them.
could take or leave them.
Yeah, you'd probably want to leave this one. It's not a bad movie.
I've seen it.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, but way back.
Do you even remember anything from it?
Nope.
I watched it less than a
title.
week ago, and I remember one of the pieces now.
Jesus Christ.
So
I thought I might have seen it till you named the cast, and I'm like, oh, maybe that's not one I've seen. I
Yeah,
would remember Amy Smart.
it's a movie. It's hard to find. It took me a while to kind of track down. I probably wouldn't spend the time searching for it.
Tammy and the T-Rex next again.
That's an enjoyable film.
I got to get around to watching that.
It's on my queue. All right, Jack. What about you?
All right, Jason, we got some stuff in common, so I'll do my non-shared
Chlamydia?
thing first, and then we can.
You weren't supposed to tell.
I'm sorry. Oh, did I just avoid like do some HIPAA law thing? Sorry.
Damn it.
Mm.
Hate you.
Who can take a sunrise,
Sammy Davis Jr.'s eyeball.
sprinkle it with dew, cover it with chocolate, and a miracle or two? The Candyman can. And that's what I watched for the first time probably since 1992 or 93, whatever the hell.
Oh, wow.
Candyman just came to Netflix. So I watched it. Literally, I think I saw that movie once. I think I saw maybe part 2 once. I wasn't a huge fan of Candyman when I saw it. I thought it was okay. I thought it was a little slow.
Yep.
I liked it better the second time. Rewatching it now, I appreciated it more. You really don't see the Candyman until like halfway through the movie. But
Right.
Yeah, it's a slow burn for a lot of it.
yeah, then like there's some really great parts in it, and it's a little convoluted, but I liked it much better than I did 4 billion years ago when I saw it the first time. So now I feel like I'm up. I'm ready for when the new movie comes out, and I already kind of figured out, I think, what they're going to do with the plot of this. Basically, if you saw the Watchmen limited series on HBO, and you see the original Candyman, I think that's it. What happens in Watchmen is going to happen in the new Candyman.
All right, well, mark this down so when it comes out, we can check and see if Jack was right.
Did I watch this last year? Maybe it was the year before. I remember talking about it on here, and I was the same way. I liked it significantly more watching it now than I did watching it back in the 90s.
I thought of you because is this a series that you've watched the whole?
It is not. I've seen the first 2, but I haven't seen the second one probably since the 90s. So I'm sure I'll be revisiting it. But you sons of bitches reminded me about the Return of the Living Dead series, which those were not easy to find. Well, I eventually found out how to pay for them. So I can't wait to talk about those next week. So thank you for
Necropolis is such a classic.
that. I got to load up on some booze.
Rave to the Grave. I wish I had a Rave to the Grave shirt on right now.
Oh my god! I'm sure Fright Rags is making one as we speak because they do listen to us. All right, it's my turn.
Your time.
This is there's a little theme in here. My theme this week is about the great parts and maybe some of the not great parts about being in a long-term relationship. I'll start out with the great parts. Long-term relationship, I mean married for longer than most of our listeners have been alive. I get home Saturday because I work Saturdays. It's 11-hour days. And I get home and my wife says, hey, I got the Alamo app and I found out that they're playing The Thing tonight at 10 o'clock. And I got us 2 tickets.
Oh, nice.
I was like, holy shit. I haven't seen it in the theater since, it was out for that 1 week in 1982. So I figured because of the coronavirus crap that nobody would be there. 10 o'clock Saturday night, packed. There was like 2 empty seats in the front row. It was awesome, man.
Wow, for The Thing. That's great.
Yeah, even the MC who came out was just shocked. He even noted, he goes, wow, I am blown away by how you all came out here to support and watch this movie. Man, it is on the big screen. It's so goddamn good. I did notice one thing I had not noticed before. One of the doctors, the guy who gets his arms eaten when he has the chest thing. The older guy, he's got a nose ring. All the times, yes. And I've watched this movie maybe 30, 40 times. Haven't seen it on the big screen. He has a nose, not like a little stud. He's got a nose ring in one of his nostrils.
I just got the Blu-ray of this. I'm going to have to go back and freeze frame it now.
I've watched that in HD.
I watched the Blu-ray and just have never, ever caught that. So, yeah, that was awesome. I said, oh, I saw something I never saw before.
I love seeing movies I haven't seen in a long time on the big screen, like Young Frankenstein. You notice like the zipper on the neck. I saw Caddyshack in the theater, and like in Bill Murray's the shack that he lives in. Like you don't really notice the posters on the wall when you're watching it on TV, but like when you see it in the theater, you're like, oh my god!
As big as your stupid TV is at home, it ain't as big as a movie screen, and the movies are shot for a giant screen. Especially back then, they weren't shot for television. So it was a night of perfection. Here's the best. My favorite part: the MC starts talking about the movie, and he says, there's a lot of controversy, and for years now we're talking about, is Kurt Russell really the Thing? And then 2 minutes later he goes, hey, has everyone seen this movie? And a bunch of hands go up that haven't seen the movie. I almost spit my beer out of my nose. I was laughing so hard.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
Oh, there was a guy in front of me who was not happy.
Yeah,
dude,
seriously.
Hunter, Tangy is in the chat.
Tangy? Oh my god.
Tangy?
Jack and I worked with Tangy so long ago. Tangy,
I've been waiting so long for Tangy to get here. I'm so excited too.
Tangy is the best.
Tangy, I can't let you go.
Tangy is, I am, my mouth just dropped. Hello, it is so good to see you.
Yes, oh my god. Oh, but now we got to get our A game.
A game.
Should have been drinking this whole time. All right. So, Jason, back to you.
Oh god, something I shared with Jack. The Outsider finally ended its run this week. 10 episodes. I thought it was only going to be 8. So I'm watching the 8th episode. There's about 20 minutes left, and I'm thinking, what the hell's going on here? Like, there's no way they're going to wrap this story up in the next 20 minutes. Yeah, there were still 2 more hours left. This is amazing. And
wait, did you catch up?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, good.
Wow.
Well, oh yeah, I was just saying, like 2 weeks ago, I thought it was over. That's all.
Okay.
Yes. This, I'm surprised more people aren't talking about this because it is damn good. They were very, very spot on with the story for probably the first, 3 quarters, and then more changes started to happen. The ending is close, but differences.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's just such a good adaptation. The acting in it is unreal. It looks great. The pacing is killer. And they really nail a lot of the mystery elements that you get out of the book. It's just so good. If you have not seen The Outsider, you have to watch it.
I had HBO for 25 years, and now I don't have it. And of course, something awesome. God, just give up.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so worth it. You got to check it out.
I will. Whenever I can get
it. The Outsider is also one of mine, so I'll just chime in here. I haven't read the book. Enjoyed it thoroughly. I got a kick out of our binge watch culture now. Anytime there is an episode that is the least bit slow, like something huge. It's like with The Sopranos. If there was an episode where somebody didn't get whacked, people were complaining that it was a filler episode.
Mhm.
I'm like, people have just lost their patience. I'm like, most TV shows have like ups and downs, lulls and climaxes and things like that. So this show took its time, got to know characters, fleshed things out, and I was never bored by it. Sure, there's some parts you could be like, well, that episode was really setting up what's going to come next, but that just made your anticipation that much further. Tremendous performances by everybody, and the final episode, while I think it's not what people are going to expect, I thought was great, and it kind of it wrapped things up very well. Don't turn it off the TV when the show ends because there's a mid-credits scene.
Of course. Is it Samuel Jackson? Does he pop
There's a
up
mid-credit scene?
There is. Oh, you didn't see the mid-credits scene?
He's got to go back.
God damn it! No, I don't remember seeing it.
Just ruined it.
You need to go back and watch that, my friend. It's really important because will there be a second season? There might be.
Son of a bitch! All right.
Oh, Jason,
Damn it.
Does it need a second season?
Well, actually, I was talking to my wife about that. My concern is it will end up being like True Detective, where that guy kind of ripped off a whole bunch of shit. So the first season was great.
Yeah.
And they adapted the novel for this season, so it's great. But when you start going into uncharted territory, that's when you find out how good the writers really are. So
Right.
I hopefully, I mean, I loved this, so I will definitely start a second season.
I think without spoiling anything, if they never do another season, I'll be happy because this was a great 10-episode contained story.
Mm-hmm.
And even with the way they ended it, I think they left enough of a possibility if they want to do something else. But if they never do anything else, it's not like Firefly that ended and you were like, wait, what? You can't end it now.
What happened to Han Solo?
There's enough closure if they never do another season, but there's sort of if they want to go into more stuff, they can. And Jason, you're exactly right. This is where you're really going into uncharted territory. So, who knows?
Yeah, it's like the Matrix. You've got source material. It's great. You do your own stuff. Dear God.
Schmucks. Not you schmucks. Not this time. Do you guys now look? We have to admit we're all Benites, correct? We're Nigel Bockians, correct?
We've covered like
You wanna agree
80
with
of his movies on here.
All right. Do you remember exactly?
We're losing Hunter.
In the nuts if you saw us.
You're dying, man.
Oh, are you? Let's try again. How am I now?
I'm not dying.
Hmm.
There it is.
You're
Can
freezing
you
up.
hear
I
me?
couldn't hear you. I can now, but you're.
Oh, that's funny. All right. So anyway, remember a
It
movie
wouldn't be
called The
Final Guys
Blackwell
without
Ghost?
massive technical issues. Yes, I
I
remember
know.
the Blackwell Ghost.
Shit.
Wait, say that again. I lost you.
So, The Blackwell Ghost. Do you remember that movie? That
Oh,
found
yeah.
footage.
Yeah.
So this is a guy who's kind of in competition with Nigel Bach for, found footage. One guy in a haunted house. There are 4 of them. I found out.
Yeah.
What?
I only watched the first one. Did you watch the other ones?
I watched part 2 a few days ago, and holy crap, was I impressed. So this guy who he says he's a filmmaker and he makes horror movies, like cheapo horror movies. He's been investigating this Blackwell ghost at this house. He flies his own plane. He has a ton of cameras and stuff. So I think that the guys that he's a filmmaker, he's got access to a lot of stuff. So he goes back to investigate the house because the guy has sold the house. This is his last chance to find out what's going on. Man, what he does with 0 budget, he's a likable kind of guy. And there's just there's like a weird honesty about it where literally you're going, I know this is bullshit, but is this bullshit? Is he kidding me? Because he even talks like he'll go to like saying, my first movie, and he's showing Amazon reviews of the first movie. So it's very self-aware. Yes.
Interesting.
And let me tell you, man, he goes there this time. The last time he was with his wife, this time he goes alone, and the stuff is crazy. I'm like, if this was really happening, you would find a trail of my poop leading out the door to like the the street. But it was really, I dug it, man. So much so I had to stop myself and just going right to part 3. I wanted to like do one a week. So I'm actually looking forward to the next 2. It was solid.
Wow, I had no idea.
Jack.
Practical question at this time.
Yes.
Prime, or did you have to pay for it?
I paid for it. It was like $3 or $4, but I've spent worse money on meatball parms, so that's fine.
It's always easier to rent a movie when you put it in like, well, if I bought a coffee or I bought dinner or what, if I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich tonight for dinner, it paid for the movie.
Exactly. So trust me, it's good.
This really surprises me that he did more of those. I remember liking the first one. So
yeah, I really like the first one.
Yeah, interesting.
He doesn't play it for laughs. It's straight.
I was gonna say, do we get any goddammits or fucks?
No. But you get like, it's weird. You get like pretty honest reactions to if things were going on, how you probably would feel. It was weird. It was really good.
Is it the same location or somewhere different?
Same house. So at the end of this, the house was sold. So I don't know what happens in part 3.
Never stopped Nigel Bach.
Excited to know.
Are there any?
I'm sorry, Tom Riley.
Does anyone have his channel? The Bad Ben channel?
Nigel's channel?
He's got his own channel. Yeah. You didn't see that?
On Amazon?
I don't know where it is. I just know it's a thing he has now.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
I guess it just plays all 8 Bad Bens in the cartoon over and over. I have no idea.
Oh, that cartoon.
Maybe starting his own Shutter service, his own Bad Ben service. That sounds
maybe. We're in, by the way.
Get the extended director cuts of his movies.
I will look this up.
Oh.
So is it
all right.
My turn now?
Your
no, I
turn.
went first. Jack and I share one more, so you go first on this one, Jack.
Oh, okay. So this is a movie that we almost made our main feature a couple of weeks ago, but then something else came out that trumped it. Oh, VFW came out, and we were like, we gotta watch that.
Donald trumped it.
So I watched After Midnight, which is a new movie. It's got the guy who was in The Battery and Bliss. I think he wrote this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy Gardner.
Yeah. This is a weird movie. It got rave reviews on some of the places I read, and this movie's a lot of different movies wrapped up in one thing. It's about a guy who lives with his girlfriend. They're all in lovey-dovey love. Then all of a sudden, one day she just leaves.
Happened to me.
And the day that she leaves, this monster starts attacking his house every night and trying to get in. And he's got like a shotgun and he's trying to protect himself, try to kill it. And it's not around during the day, but every night it comes and tries to attack him. And then he spends his days reminiscing about his romance with this girl and pining after, like, sad that she's gone or whatever. And then at night the monster attacks it. But it also has this weird element of like almost like an indie rock movie where like they show like a band in the bar and then they play the whole song. And there's a lot of like montage kind of stuff where they're playing like this indie rock. And so sometimes it's like a relationship drama. Sometimes it's like a relationship comedy. Sometimes it's like an indie rock movie, and sometimes it's a horror movie. So I thought it was okay, and I got a kind of a kick out of the ending. But I don't know where
this leave you confused and questioning.
I just thought it was okay. My feeling was this would have been better as just a Shudder. If this came out on Shudder and I watched it one night and like, okay, as a pay-per-view, I was like, I don't know. The pacing was off, and it was a little uneven for me. But it's okay. Like I don't regret watching
one or two things that you've never seen before that made you go, "Holy shit, that's going in the memory bank."
Say that again.
Like in The Battery, there were a couple of scenes I was like, "Oh, I've never seen that before," so I'll never forget that. The rest of the movie could suck, but it's great for that. Did you have any of those moments?
There's one moment in the movie that will stick out at you after you see it.
Okay.
So I also watched this just by happenstance, but I loved this movie. It just resonated with me on a personal level that I was just, particularly the last, I don't know, half of the movie, just really stuck to my bones. Like I really dug the hell out of this. I'm a big Jeremy Gardner fan, everything I've seen him. What did he do? The Battery, another movie, and
He's
then
in Bliss.
this.
He's
Yeah, but
in
I mean, like, he
Bliss.
directed. Didn't he direct another one? Tex
don't know.
Montana Will Survive, which I have not seen. He directed that too. Yeah, he's great in Bliss. Like, the dude as an actor is really good, but his writing and directing also, I don't know. He does character work that I really freaking dig. And the character arcs in this are what really got to me. And there's two scenes in this that stuck with me big time. One, I couldn't possibly say, but the other is a long shot of two people talking that felt like it was 10 minutes long. No cuts, just a lot of emotion, a ton of dialogue moving around, and it was just one long ass take. It was super impressive, and it really worked well for me. So this is one I will not recommend to a lot of people, but people I feel like that are like me that will appreciate it will probably love it, which I think explains the critical reviews are very high, but then the IMDb score is like 5. So I think it's going to be a polarizing movie. It's a weird little gem. You might love it, you might hate it, but man, I really dug it.
Yeah.
Did we lose Hunter again?
Oh.
Oh,
Hunter,
okay.
are you there?
I'm
yeah,
still here. I'm not lost. Assholes.
Your picture's frozen. Yeah, I can see you feeling that way, and like I said, I like it.
That's gets to anyone's benefit.
What?
I think he's very delayed right now. You're screwing the show up again. God.
Dude, it's not my fault.
Yeah, dude, he's like 5 seconds behind this. Son of a bitch.
Well,
anyway,
I can understand you.
Kurzweil.
Yeah, I like I said, I liked it. I didn't love it, but it's worth a watch, especially for people like us, not normies. There's a payoff in it, but it's definitely not a traditional, conventional movie. So, and the shot you're talking about with the two people, the long conversation, yeah, I thought that was great too. I just thought there was a little bit too much flashbacks of the relationship. It messed with the pacing a little bit. It just little nitpicks like that. But I thought the performances were great, and I enjoyed it. It was entertaining for a night, but I would fall short of liking it as much as you did. But I would definitely. It's a pretty good movie.
It's a relationship movie way more than a horror movie. So
yeah.
If you're going into that expecting monster madness, you're going to be disappointed. So, there you go. Are you back?
All right. Can you guys hear me now?
Okay.
Yes.
I went out. I came back in. I'll pull out. I'll go back in.
Yeah, I'm just going to let that go.
Back in, whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
All right. Well, behind the times. Thanks, Eric. You fucker. So anyway, I'll finish with a book. I read a book, and it's perfect for this time of madness in this country here. It's a book called Cold Storage. It's by David Koepp. He is a screenplay writer. He did like Jurassic Park and
when did he start writing novels?
I guess he said, "What the hell? I'll do this." Dude, Jason, you would love it because did he?
I'm pretty sure he was the director of Stir of Echoes.
Why not? So now he's stooped down to being a writer. Can you get any lower?
Yeah,
any lower
it must have
form
gone sideways.
But this is it starts in it's the military trying this meteor crash to Earth in this town in Africa and release this virus that just makes people literally explode. They start to transform, they go to the highest thing and explode so the spores can spread out. And then it gets buried deep in like Kansas. And of course, the military sells the whole thing to some storage facility where people unwittingly unleash this thing. But it's a very contained book because it deals everything in a storage facility. And the guy and the man and the woman who were in the military who stopped it the first time are in retirement and have to come back out of retirement to, put a lid on it again. It's funny. Everything is snarky. It's real. And this book rolls.
Really?
Yeah. So, I mean, I read it in like 2 days. It was fun. I couldn't stop reading it. It was fun.
What was the name of it again?
So, Cold storage. Be glad that coronavirus is not this thing, because you'd be really screwed.
Huh. I had no idea he started writing novels.
Yeah, I found it in the library.
Oh.
I couldn't resist.
Oh, you got to squirt that book with Purell, dude.
You know what? I was thinking that as I was reading another book. I'm like, oh, who touched this? And every library book, there's always one page. You turn it, it looks like there's definitely like a thumb smudge booger on the page.
Wow.
Every damn book. It's like, do they come that way?
Let me tell you something. You want to see those? They're all over this book.
There's other stains there too. You can rebuild me from my DNA in that.
So I'm looking up David. Is it Koepp? Kep? I don't know how to say his name.
I don't know. Koepp. I would think it's Kep.
This dude, I can't believe he's writing novels. I mean, he wrote Jurassic Park, Carlito's Way, Death Becomes Her, Toy Soldiers, Dark Angel. Isn't that the Dolph Lundgren movie? Dark Angel? Mission Impossible, Jurassic Park 2, Snake Eyes, Stir of Echoes, Panic Room, Spider-Man, Secret Window, War of the Worlds,
God damn.
Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Oh, that's where it went sideways.
Yeah, that's where the career ended.
You lost me.
I mean, he even did recently. He did The Mummy, Inferno.
The Tom Cruise Mummy.
Yeah,
he did a Tom Cruise Mummy and Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. This guy should be lynched.
This is totally why he's doing this now.
They should throw him off a boat.
but he did direct Stir of Echoes, Secret Window. I mean,
okay,
this guy's done some big stuff. I mean, writing Jurassic Park that's no joke.
If I had half his career, I'd wear it on a sandwich board and just walk around town.
I mean, look, if any of us got paid a ton of money to write The Mummy, I would be wearing Mummy merchandise all day long.
Yeah,
forever. I had a big Tom Cruise shirts, like Tupac shirts.
Yeah, I would not give a shit.
Absolutely.
Huh? I'll check this out. I'm curious because he's a good writer.
You'll like it because there's that wry sense, a sarcastic sense of humor that is very Brantian.
He wrote the original Jurassic Park.
Well,
yeah, but it was based on a novel. Yeah.
Right, but he wrote the movie that Spielberg directed.
That's what IMDb just told me. That's insane.
Eric with a K, Eric Smith, said he chose to read The Stand during these trying times. Good for him.
That's a man's man.
If all that guy ever did was write Jurassic Park the movie,
you can live off that for the rest of your life.
That's quite an accomplishment.
Yeah, so cool. I'm gonna check that out. I'm excited.
Yeah. You guys got anything left?
Done.
I do not.
Lighten up a cigarette. You're spent. Get under the sheets. Cuddle. I like it. The two of you are very simpatico this week.
Get out of here.
All right. Let's go to the main feature. The Color Out of Space Ghost.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
H.P. Lovecraft, Nick Cage, Richard Stanley. This would seem like the triumvirate of excellence. But was it? Or was it not? Tune in next week for Final Guide now.
You're forgetting an important component.
Which
Chong.
Is? Oh, God. Tommy Chong.
Come on,
Jesus
man.
Christ. Hey, man. All right, man. I'll do your movie, man. So, Jack, you're the master of synopsis. Hit us.
I'll put some gum in my mouth for this one.
Good sounding.
Sound like an alpaca.
So this movie,
Jesus Christ, that sounds horrible.
is about a color.
It's ASMR, man. It's all the rage.
This color's out of space. Out of space, and it's in Earth.
Earth.
And it's kind of like pink and purple. But you can't really tell. And Nicolas Cage lives on this farm with his family. Jolie Richardson from
Event Horizon.
She's the wife. They got some kids. Meteor lands in their front yard. They're glowing. And it lands, and then a bunch of like H.P. Lovecraft kind of stuff happens where people go nuts and their time is weird and weird bugs and food and stuff. And weird things happen. And Tommy Chong is in a shed.
Man.
And then at one point, there's like a lot of color. That's pretty much the movie.
There's a lot lot of color. You know what? Tough to do because in the book, the story, it's about you can't see the color. It's beyond what the human eye can see.
Everybody is colorblind.
Little did we know it was pink and purple.
Prince would have loved this meteor.
Oh, completely.
This Purple Rain could have been the name of this movie.
Purple Cage. Purple Cage. So Jack, that was perfect as always. I don't know what the gum part was, but
it's an effect.
I think I liked it.
It was a nice little gross out moment.
It's driving Jason crazy.
Well, your dogs every week they drive their nails on a chalkboard.
You don't have to tell me. I'm the one who has to deal with that shit.
So Jason,
don't worry, this juicy fruit runs out of flavor in like 2 more seconds. So
I'm surprised it still has flavor.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on this, Jason?
This is a supremely weird film. It is so all over the place that I kind of loved it. I had to rewatch the ending because it was getting pretty late on Friday. I was several beers deep. I was like, was that as weird as I remembered it being? So I rewatched the last half again today, and I appreciated it even more. This is so bizarre. I mean, the ending looks great, by the way. It's just the weird colors and the creatures and there's a lot of stuff we're gonna have to save for spoilers. But I was into the movie until about I'd say probably the last half when things really start to crank up, and then something happens that I was just freaking in from then on. So this is one that it ended, and I was like, I think I really liked that. And the further away from it I'm getting, the more I'm appreciating it. This is going to be a hard one for a lot of people. I have a feeling this is another one that's going to be super polarizing, but this one hit me.
It has to be polarizing.
It has to be. It's so freaking weird. Like, my wife did not really care for it. She was just like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, I don't know, but I thought it was cool. so that's kind of where I'm at. I kind of loved it, but it's hard to explain a lot of why.
All right. I'm thinking, no, I'm not even going to read Jack on this one. I'm going to hold what I feel. I'll do this. If you say what I thought you were going to say.
I'm going to take my gum out.
There we go.
I don't want to be rude. So anyway, at the end of this movie, everybody... Just kidding. I thought this movie was great. I had a blast with it. Oh my God.
Oh no, I didn't think that was happening.
I thought, listen, I'm not exactly sure what happened, but Nicolas Cage goes from 0 to 100.
He hits peak Nick. He's at like 75% Nicolas Cage as soon as the movie starts.
Yeah. When he gets in the car and it won't start, that's when he goes, fuck it.
It was kind of like Mandy and Mom and Dad smushed into a meteor and smashed on the ground.
Yeah.
So I had a blast on this movie because listen, the first half is like a buildup, and then the second half things get funky, and the funkier they got, the more I was enjoying it. And when it just gets zany, I was in. I was in. So I enjoyed it a lot. I look forward to talking about this in spoilers, to ask some questions, to see what everybody thought about it. But I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I don't think I could recommend this to anybody except other horror fans.
This is not normie approved.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. If I told my sister to watch this movie, I think my family would break up.
I'm going to recommend this to every priest I see. I really like this movie because it was Jesus Christ, it was trippy. By the way, did either of you like the girl? I thought the girl was phenomenal.
Oh,
his goth daughter. And I'd look and I go, sometimes she looks 16, sometimes she looks old enough to be next to Betty White. She has this. I don't know whether they were doing it on purpose with lighting and makeup, but I was like, so it was kind of like there was a physical morphing going on with her. To me,
she had those big cartoon eyes.
Christina Ricci. She's like Christina Ricci, big eyes, big forehead, just, exaggerated features.
Amanda Seyfried and Christina Ricci.
Yeah, Wendy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
How you doing? I loved how Nick Cage, once he got in the car, I was like, yes, this is what I was waiting for the whole movie. It's funny because a lot of people saying that Cage takes something from the movie, and I could see that. But I think the three of us were locked in on Cage. We wanted Mandy Cage.
Yep.
So we got Mandy Cage. This is the other side of being in a relationship. Somewhere towards the middle, my wife and I got in a disagreement, which resulted in a little bit of yelling. So
During this movie?
during this movie, I don't even remember what it was. I'd been drinking bourbon. So
Okay.
there were parts I just missed because there was like chatter going on. But I don't think it mattered. I felt like, well, I didn't really miss much. This is just getting weird and uglier and stranger and cool. So I thought it was really cool.
Hunter, did you think I was going to like it?
No, I thought you were going to hate this movie. That's what I was going to.
I thought Jack was going to love it and you weren't going to like it.
No,
I thought you were going to be like, my wife hates this.
Well, my wife did hate this movie.
Okay. So
and
I got
that was part of the argument.
This
Why do we
movie's
always
great.
have to
Shut
watch
up.
the stupid shit that you want us to watch? I was like,
When we get to
final guys.
when we get to spoilers, I think we all know the moment that sealed it for me in this movie.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it sealed it for all of us.
Couch?
Before couch. I think.
I thought the couch. See? What do I know? Might have been arguing over that.
Barn.
Oh, the barn. Don't remember much of the barn.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Remember just looking at my whiskey glass going, I should have had more.
So at the beginning, I was thinking, this is pretty good. I'm into it. Then the color palette of the movie started to change.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really terrible with colors. I'm actually partially colorblind. So my wife was pointing shit out to me, and then I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh yeah. Something's going on with the grass. Oh, that's cool. So it really was starting earlier than I thought. And it just, I don't know, it was slowly accelerating until it hits a point in the movie and then it just floors it. And I'm just sitting there like, what in God's name is this? But only the mind of Richard Stanley, I think, could do some of this stuff. And if you don't know who he is, just there's I think there's a documentary about him.
Lost Souls.
Then what's that?
Lost Souls with the
Was
Island
that what
of
it was
Dr.
called?
Moreau.
Okay.
He's doing the podcast rounds right now. I heard him on Elijah Woods. I heard him on Mick Garris. So you can hear his story.
Yeah, the Mick Garris one, I think, was he on Shockwaves too? I think it was the Mick Garris one where you hear a lot of his story about him sneaking back onto the set of the Island of Dr. Moreau after being fired. Yeah. So this is an interesting man who made a very interesting film.
He's got the love for Lovecraft.
Does he?
Yeah, well, every time he talks to him, he has he was raised on Lovecraft, like his mother read it to him as a little kid and stuff like that.
Like that's
I have never read a Lovecraft book in my life, so
really tough.
You know what? It's funny. As a teenager, I could devour those. As an adult, I'm like, oh God, no.
You have to listen to the. I tell everybody this. Wayne June, who's narrated some of my books. This is how I found him. He narrated all of Lovecraft's stuff. It's all on Audible. Some of it's on YouTube. That is the way to listen to it. He does such a good job. It kind of gets rid of some of the complexity of trying to read it.
Oh, that's good.
It's good stuff.
Wayne's a good man.
I think at my parents' house, I have an H.P. Lovecraft paperback, something of the Unknown Kadath or something like that I got when I was like in junior high school or something. Started reading it and then nope. And I wasn't into the cosmic stuff back then.
All my dad's Lovecraft books are somewhere behind me in a box.
At the Mountains of Madness, I need to revisit that again soon. That is just...
What would be a good one to start with?
I'd probably start with that, At the Mountains of Madness. That'd probably be my pick.
I like The Shadow over Innsmouth.
That's a great one.
This must be my lucky day.
Yeah.
What else here? We got
horrible
back to the color.
Hello.
I think the daughter was her performance was key to this movie. Besides Cage, I thought she was really great.
Yeah. I actually thought everybody in this was great. If anything, as weird as it sounds, I thought Nicolas Cage was the lowest on the actor rung. I thought everybody else was just so good.
So this is one thing the director said on the podcasts. He asked Nicolas Cage to channel his Kiss of the Vampire character.
Oh God, that movie
Jesus.
was such a shit show.
So
I don't even remember much of it.
he's evoking that because I mean some of the stuff he started doing with his voice in the second half, especially, I was just
Oh.
like cracking up.
Yeah,
Yeah, he answers the door at one point, and it's like, what is going on with him right now?
at one point you're thinking he's in a different movie. He doesn't give a shit. He's doing his own thing.
It was very Shining-esque at the very beginning. You're like, this dude's already crazy. Nothing's even happened yet. He's already out of his gourd.
He's got to milk the alpacas.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you've ditched your career for alpacas, you are out of your mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like he wouldn't fix his wife's internet. I'm like, for the love of God, dude, just go mess with the router.
I just kept thinking of those HughesNet commercials where they have people out in the woods. You need HughesNet. Jolie Richardson, I hadn't seen her in a while.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Since maybe Nip Tuck.
Oh, yeah, that's right. My God. I never really watched that show that much, but now that you say that, I remember her.
She was one of the principals in it. She was good. I couldn't tell you the last thing I've seen her in. She looks almost the same, though.
Yeah, she does. I'm just a little older, but so do we. It's fine.
I'm not going gray.
She's no Helen Hunt.
And the little kid who's just like staring at the well.
Yeah.
He did freak that kid pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chong did Chong pretty good.
Yeah, Chong did Chong. Exactly. Did not play against type whatsoever.
He nailed it. I thought this is a really good role for him. He had a scene in it that was suitably creepy.
You think his hair was his own? He had some really funky hair.
No idea.
The great thing would have been if the meteor had transformed him. So when you first go see him, he's Chong, and then later in the movie, he's Cheech.
Cheech? We gotta get them lowriders, man.
He just gives the speech from Dusk Till Dawn.
Exactly. And fuck it.
I'll tell you what, though, like we didn't get to see this in the theater, and I don't think you have to see this in the theater to enjoy it. But I was thinking, this one I would have liked to have seen in the theater with all that color and
the finale in particular. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And,
so you got to ring the bell.
I'll ring the bell.
We're coming up on 9:00.
Oh yeah.
Either ring the bell or forever hold your peace.
Spoiler alert. Here we go.
And it's communion.
Okay, so the meteor hits, and slowly but surely, flowers are starting to bloom. The colors started to show up, and slowly the colors seeping into the water and everything. And one of the great moments in this movie is Nicolas Cage is in the shower, and he picks up some goopy thing, and then it like jumps at him.
Yeah,
and it's like a squid-like thing.
That was so gross.
That was awesome.
Yep.
I'm like, don't touch that. What's the matter with you?
And when that little like a grasshopper thing, the pink grasshopper comes out of or whatever the hell it was.
That was cool.
That was one of the things you're like, oh, that's going to sting somebody. Oh, this isn't going to be good. And then it just kind of flew away.
Yeah.
But the moment that I'm talking about is when Jolie Richardson and the youngest son are like in the barn, and then they're running out, and then they get flashed by the meteor and like merge together. Yeah. Then they're brought to the couch.
Yeah, that's what I assumed you were talking about when you said couch. Yeah.
So that's the moment when I was like, yeah, this movie's pretty interesting. Where's it going? Or to like, oh, they just went like the thing on us.
I was completely in from that point on. I was
her reabsorbing her own child. And then his hand like draped off to the end of the couch. That's like the only real solid thing left of him.
And they're moaning.
Yeah.
So right there, I'm just like, okay, we got a horror movie.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yeah. And then when Nicolas Cage locks the daughter into the attic room with them, and you see this crazy thing creature. Oh man, it was just, I was so in.
And he's swinging back and forth from like sympathizing with the monster to wanting to protect his family. And I think the older son had said it's like being near a black hole and time is being bent. So I kept thinking like, is he going back and forth in time or reality? Like perception or something like that, or is he just bananas? I wasn't exactly sure. I was just like, okay, whatever he does, he does. I'm just gonna watch it and
Yeah.
because meteor.
Yeah, it's like I have no idea why this stuff's happening, but it looks cool as shit.
Yeah, I was like, who cares? I just want to see something that looks good.
Once they go, they find Chong in his cabin, and it's playing a recording that he'd done earlier. That scene was really creepy. The stuff they did with his voice and his skin was glowing, that was great. And then from kind of that moment on, that's when the colors of the movie just went insane. And it just looked, I don't think I'd ever seen a movie that looked like that. It was very unique.
It's
and
funny.
The tree grabs the guy and kills him.
Yeah.
I would think that like Lovecraft purists would hate that part. You know what I mean? Because you can't see the colors. You can't see the colors. But you have, this is the medium where you have to show it.
It's a movie. Yeah, it's not a book.
Yeah.
You can't do the Lovecraft thing where you say it's beyond description and then spend the next 3 paragraphs describing it.
Exactly.
You actually have to show it. So, no, I thought it was really cool. And then we did get one quick shot of the alien world that I thought looked super neat. So like
that I would like to go back and watch again.
Yeah, I saw that part again today. I was like, man, they're a giant like what was the monster? Not behemoth. Was it Leviathan? The worm monster? There was like a whole bunch of them on that planet kind of going around like gigantic creatures. It was neat.
It reminded me a little bit of Slither when the girl gets the slug in her mouth and then she gets a flashback to the alien world.
Very neat.
So the daughter is messing with the Necronomicon at the beginning, doing a spell to protect her mother who's had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that her magic had anything to do with summoning that? And then at the end, she cuts herself up and is doing the spell. And was she
didn't seem to do anything,
or was she, like, what was the role there? Like,
that's something I didn't understand. I didn't understand the purpose of the witchcraft because she does all that shit, cuts herself up. It doesn't protect anyone or save anything.
No, I think it just shows you how dumb kids are.
It kind of bought her some time, I guess.
I guess. I mean,
because her brother got nailed in the well.
Yeah, she disintegrated like 10 minutes later, though.
Yeah.
That was another kind of event horizon-y, her cutting herself up and then all the eyes and all that other stuff.
Yeah. So the end of this movie, I was in awe. I really, really, really enjoyed this.
Now the director's going to make the Dunwich Horror next.
Really?
He's doing the trilogy, the Lovecraft trilogy. And I don't even remember if I've seen Dunwich Horror. I've heard that they're not good, but I'm not even sure if I remember what the story is on that. But you guys have any thoughts on that?
Is the Dunwich Horror the one with the private detective? I can't remember. It's been a long time.
There's a Dunwich Horror that was made in the 70s, I think, but I don't know if it had much to do with Lovecraft. If I remember.
I was talking about the book, but yeah, sure.
I'm thinking about.
I've heard there was 2 movies made from it, and neither one is good. Maybe I'll see if I can track one down and try and sit through it. And then there's the other, I think Barnard mentioned, there's a German version of this where they do spell it Kalor.
There's a few versions of this, by the way.
The Kahlua of space.
I had no idea.
Hey, man. Drinking your friggin' Black Russian? Hey, man, it's a beverage here.
With Invisible Man, Come to Daddy, VFW, and this. Oh, my God. This year, coming out of the gate, it's like crushing last year.
I know.
Yeah, just I loved After Midnight. That's top 10 from like my top 10 list so far.
After Midnight's quality.
It's going to be tough. If at this pace, it's going to be hard to make a list because I am loving so much shit we're watching right now.
Yeah, at this pace, Color Out of Space is probably not going to make my list if things keep going like this. Because this is fringe. I liked it a lot, but it's so fringy for me. I could easily just go.
This will make my list. After Midnight could break the list depending on if the rest of the year fizzled.
For those of us who give a crap about our lists,
yeah. But this is definitely for me. It's definitely up there.
It's like when I do my list and my family watches and I pull out my book. Oh, you're doing that stupid list again? Like, yeah.
Daniel Wasn't Real was last year, right? But
Yeah.
we didn't watch it
Yes.
till this year. Okay. And Bliss was last year. So,
Or
okay.
yes.
I watched it last year.
Yeah, I'm just
They didn't make a
going
list.
through my
though.
list. So, yes.
Get them off. They're not allowed on.
So fortunately, we're watching good stuff because I'm going through all these series and they're rough, man. So getting to see these good movies we're featuring is helping me get through the year.
Yeah, you're like a penitent monk who flagellates himself.
Ugh.
You gotta stop
got
doing
a-
that to yourself.
Quiet Place 2 is like in 2 weeks, and the buzz,
Yep.
early buzz on that has been good.
Looks good.
Oh yeah, I saw the trailer for it. It looked cool. The whole thing's not a prequel though, right?
No, I think there's some flashbacks.
Okay, because that will really upset me.
No, you got to get Jim Halpert in a little, and then you move on.
Let's hope. All right.
No, that's a lot looking forward to. So we don't know what we're going to watch next week. It's going to be a surprise, but we'll post it on Facebook and we'll let you guys know beforehand.
Of
So,
course.
We've got a
Yeah.
few. We can't go to the movies because we're in quarantine everywhere.
That's true.
You know what? My wife went to the movies last night with my daughter, and it was an Adam Sandler movie, and the place was sold out. And when she got there, she says there were 10 of us there. So I have a
Wow.
feeling the movie theaters are going to get demolished in at least the New York tri-state area.
Mm.
I don't know about the rest of the country, but
Boston canceled the St. Patrick's Day parade, so that's
which
how
is
serious this
insane. Which I'm worried now the bars won't be open. I mean, I live 2 blocks
South by
away
Southwest was
from 4
canceled.
Irish
so,
bars.
yeah,
South by Southwest was canceled. I didn't know.
Yeah.
That.
Oh yeah,
Jesus,
London Book Fair was canceled.
I did
That's
know
the
that.
Super Bowl of publishing.
The Arnold Classic bodybuilding thing was just canceled, and that, apparently like 300,000 people go there or something.
Get out of here!
So yeah, there's shit's getting crazy.
Jesus Christ, shut the door.
So video
All
on
right.
demand for us.
Yeah, it's going to be video on demand. We have a few things we're chatting about. So when we figure it out, we'll let you all know. So until then, as always, tell your friends, which you never do. We don't care anymore. We're just going to keep doing it just to spite everybody. How about that?
Yeah, that's right.
Screw yous. We don't use stupid reviews and word of mouth. Now that I've endeared ourselves to you, please come back next Tuesday at 8 p.m. and watch us live.
after
Or
retweeting
listen-
and promoting us.
Yeah. Or, whatever. We don't care. It's all good. If you love us, send beer money. That's all we ask. So,
I could handle that.
from all of us to all of you, wash your hands and cover your mouth. Goodbye.
Farewell and adieu.
See ya.